Hey everybody, we are back to review the Season 2 finale of Penny Dreadful titled And They Were Enemies. And wow, what a season finale. So much happened visually. It was a fantastic episode. But before we get too far, if you haven't seen the Season 2 finale of Penny Dreadful, you're going to want to skip this video until you have seen it, because from this point forward, everything we say is going to be a spoiler. Like I said, visually, this episode was absolutely the best episode of the series.
Yeah, there was some really, really amazing cinematography going on in this episode.
Well, there was the flaming pentagram, which was a very powerful symbol. There was the scorpion embedding itself into her palm. And there was the dance between Dorian...
The dance in blood.
Yeah, with the blood trail from her train? What is it?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? The train? From Lily's train. Oh my, just so much. And then the cross. She pulled the cross off the wall and threw it in the fire, and just that visual in itself spoke so much about this episode. The first half of the episode, I thought, went pretty much exactly how we thought it would.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that they wrapped up the story so quickly, because it was wrapped up 20 minutes into the episode. The entire series antagonist was done and over, and it was just wrapping things up for all the individual characters.
Basically, the last half plus a little bit was kind of a denouement.
Yeah, it was just kind of setting the characters up for next season, which is great and all, but it just, I don't know, like, I got to, like, they finished and I was like, really? We're at 22 minutes. It's all done. What else are they going to do? It just kind of felt a little lackluster for me.
I actually like that they wrapped it up with it. It didn't really feel rushed to me. Like, everybody got their little piece. And what I thought was really interesting was Vanessa and Ferdinand were the only two people who really overcame their obstacles.
Yeah. Everybody else was basically giving in to whatever the witches were doing.
Well, I guess Ethan, he kind of overcame his by not eating Vanessa.
Yeah.
So I would include him in that, I guess.
Yeah, that's
But the other two, Frankenstein and Sir Malcolm, both totally caved.
Yeah, the episode kind of went to show how weak those two are mentally.
Yeah.
You know, all the other characters are definitely stronger. Even Simbini, he chose to sacrifice himself instead of killing Ethan, which shows a much stronger mentality than Sir Malcolm and Frankenstein, who almost killed themselves because of ghosts that they knew were fake.
Yeah, and the only reason they didn't was because of Vanessa.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Vanessa, she has the confrontation with her fetish.
Yeah.
And that scene I thought was a little bit confusing, because it's the devil speaking through the fetish, right?
Yeah.
And then she totally out-evils it.
You know,
and then she says, know your master, or something like that, implying that she is its master, so she's the devil's master.
I have a theory on that.
Okay, I'd love to hear it, because I'm confused as shit.
The devil was only able to commune with her via the witch. So as she's speaking to the devil, she is actually speaking to the witch. He only has as much power as the fetish she gave him. So she is stronger than the witch, which is how she wins.
So she's stronger than that particular magic or whatever. Okay.
That's my theory, is that she didn't actually beat the devil. The devil can't commune with her, so the witch has to use her magic, and she beat the witch.
Okay. That makes some sense. Would love to know what you guys thought about that scene, because as I was watching it, it was really cool, because she's like verbally dueling in the Verbis Diablo with the fetish, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, her performance, oh my gosh, that growl and then the really deep, oh my gosh,
it was creepy.
So creepy.
But it was awesome, oh my god. Yeah.
I wasn't really thrilled with the fetish. It was kind of comical to have her arguing with a ventriloquist dummy. So I wasn't exactly thrilled about that.
What's really funny is when they first revealed the fetishes, I was like, ventriloquist dummies, really? And I was super disappointed in it. Now we've totally switched, because I thought that scene was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of pulled me out of it a little bit. Like, I think it would have been better if the mouth wasn't moving. If it was just speaking to her from it, but the mouth wasn't moving. Yeah. That kind of pulled me out, and I was like, it just looks silly.
I think, yeah, I'll say it probably would have been creepier if the mouth wasn't moving, yeah.
Yeah, the mouth just kind of made it a little silly. Yeah. Otherwise, like, her talking with herself, that was really good.
And what was great, probably my favorite little shot of the entire episode is when Vanessa is about to kiss the fetish, and then she stops and she starts telling it, it's like, do you really think I still want to live a normal life? And it glances over at Mrs. Poole and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, Mrs. Poole is terrified.
Like the fetish can't change its expression, but it actually looks scared. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really great.
Yeah. I really like that the one witch, the one daughter, had a secondary plan.
Hecate?
Hecate, that's it. Yes, Hecate had a secondary plan. She had plan A, was Mrs. Poole's plan, and had that worked, she would have been fine. The werewolf would have been trapped in the stairs. But she had the secondary plan that if things turn around and Vanessa wins, she was going to stick the werewolf on them. I think she knew that Mrs. Poole would die from the werewolf. But I think it was also in the back of my mind, well, he might kill Vanessa, and then I've kind of done my duty. I'm good. But I don't think she cares that Vanessa lived.
I would reverse those plans. I think that Vanessa coming out victorious and her sicking the wolf on Mrs. Poole, I think that was plan A. And I think signing with Mrs. Poole would be plan B.
And B. I think it's
numbers work.
If Mrs. Poole had won and Vanessa had, they were basically, she had a plan for whether Mrs. Poole's plan worked or not.
Right. Yeah.
Which one she wanted more, she definitely wanted Mrs. Poole out of the picture.
Yeah.
But I really like that this sets her up to be a character next season because I really like her.
Now, I'm not really certain if Hecate is going to be back next season. If I was writing it, I would bring her back in season 4. I would give her a season off to kind of hone her witch skills,
get stronger,
and use Lily as the exclusive antagonist next season, and then bring Hecate back for season 4.
I kind of want Hecate to be like the anti-hero, where she should be against Vanessa, but somehow they're forced to work together to take on Lily. Like that's kind of what I want. I want her to join the little band of merry men.
Yeah. All right, moving to John Clare. I half expected this scene to take place last episode. I'm glad we did get it in this episode, and we didn't have to wait during the entire hiatus to get this.
Yes.
But he rips the door off the hinges and breaks a neck and bashes in a face. What surprised me is he left the blind girl alone. He left her there.
John Clare is such an interesting and complicated character. He didn't rip the door off immediately because I think he wanted to see what their plan was, what they were doing, and wanted to see if it was really as disgusting and disturbing as he thought. So he just kind of bided his time. He knew he can get out whenever he wanted. He sat there just to kind of get a feel for how evil they were. And then when they had the conversation with him, they just pissed him off so much that he ripped the door off, killed them both. But then you see this complete and utter look of disappointment in himself.
Yeah, he wasn't really ashamed.
Yeah, like he wasn't able to control himself. And I think that's why he let the blind girl live. Not only that, but it's almost more punishment for her to have to live with her parents being murdered by the person she captured. So it's like in a roundabout way, it's her fault, and let her live with that psychological damage.
Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been years and years and years since I've read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but didn't the original monster meet a blind girl and have a moment with her where he was going to kill her, but then he didn't, or something? Something happened with a blind girl in the original Frankenstein novel. You're going to have to refresh my memory, because I don't remember it that well. It's been years ago that I read it.
Yeah, ditto.
So that's kind of a little homage, I think, to that.
It might be.
And the episode concludes with, the heroes are kind of scattered to the four winds.
Yeah.
We got 3 boats. We got a boat going to the U.S. with Ethan prisoner. He's being extradited back to Daddy, which I want to know what the deal with Ethan's dad is.
Yeah, and I'm thinking we might get that story next season.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for that, because I want to see what exactly is going on with that relationship. And we have Sir Malcolm sailing to Africa with Sembeni's remains to, take him home to Africa. Mm-hmm. And we have John Clare sailing in the Arctic.
Yeah, on a
ship.
boat that it seems like he's alone.
He's the only person. If you look in the background, there's nobody at the wheel.
Yeah.
So that he's the only person on this boat. And I really hope they explain that in the premiere next season, because I want to know who's sailing that boat.
Yeah.
Or was it manned and he killed everybody? I don't think they would go that way, but he's, stepped his foot into the dark side now by killing the waxwork museum people. So maybe.
So I was a little disappointed in how they decided to take Ethan's character, because he goes in and he admits to all of the murders, not just the ones he's responsible for, but all of them.
Which I think includes the Ripper murders.
I think so too. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what this inspector was trying to pin on him, but I know it was more than just the bar, and the only ones he's responsible for is the bar. But basically he was committing suicide by cop because he confessed in order to be hung, because he thinks he's a monster and he doesn't deserve to live. And that was disappointing to me. I'm like, well, if Ethan wanted to kill himself, I think he would have just killed himself. He's got guns. I think he would have just done it himself. I don't think he would have turned himself in hopes of getting the death penalty. And not only that,
hanging wouldn't kill him. He's a werewolf.
And
Silver's the only thing. Well, not that they know that.
He probably doesn't know that, but you never know what's going to happen. What if new evidence turned up? What if somebody else confessed? He has no idea how long he's going to sit in that jail cell before he's hung, and he only has a month, and then he turns. So it just didn't seem like a very smart plan. I mean, I know things went a lot faster back then. You confessed, and the next day you were hung.
Yeah.
But still, it just didn't seem like a very well thought through plan.
Yeah.
And
from a story standpoint, I think they were looking for a way to get him
back to America,
back to the U.S., and that was probably the only way, in the narrative to get it to that point.
Yeah, but I was disappointed in it. It just didn't seem right for his character. It weakens his character.
Yeah. Especially committing suicide by cop, basically.
Yeah.
Submitting, okay, go ahead and hang me because I'm a monster. I think he would take ownership of that a little more than having, someone else do it.
Yeah, I think he would have done it himself if that's how he felt. Which I hope it's not. They need to write that out, because I like his character.
I'm really excited to see how they bring everybody back together for next season.
Yeah.
Because they're all over the globe at the end of this episode. And they've got some serious shit to deal with next season because Lily is trying to take over the world.
And we find out today that Lily has known from day one who she was and what happened to her.
Which I have said I thought maybe from the start.
So that's really, really interesting. I like that. It's like, I can't believe she played Frankenstein that whole time, and she knew the whole time, and it was just...
And she totally called him out of it. She's like, you were so malleable. And he is, because he's an addict.
Yeah. So, the whole gang needs to get back together because Lily and Dorian are gonna be a handful next season.
Another thing that I thought was really interesting is Ferdinand is the only character who doesn't really have this kind of inner crisis going on at the end of it.
Yeah.
He seems pretty satisfied in himself. Yeah. And he's the only one.
Yeah, basically.
And he was the traitor. So I think that's really cool.
He satisfied his inner turmoil. He fixed it. He's the only one. Everybody else is still dealing with theirs. Yeah.
Which I thought that was pretty neat. I'm really excited for next season.
Yeah.
Would love to hear what you guys thought about the season finale.
Vanessa's given up her faith. She threw the cross in the fire, and that has been the one thing keeping her back from going dark. So, gosh, I don't know. It kind of makes me think season 4, maybe she's the villain.
Or at least has a more villainous aspect.
Yeah, like maybe season 3 pushes her over the edge, and season 4 she starts being, maybe they have to pull her back.
I think at some point she is going to, become, if not a villain, at least a little, closer into the dark side than the people around her are really comfortable with.
Yeah, I concur.
All right, so let us know what you thought and what you think in the comments.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. And on Fridays, we do a topic of the week video, and we always need topics for those. So if you have any suggestions, put those in the comments down below, and we will look through them all and choose one for Friday.
Okay, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.